You start.
Okay. Got it. Welcome to the Taste of Grace podcast, a podcast where women aren't just acknowledged,
But to be truly heard and understood.
Taste of Grace is a space where you're never alone.
You belong here, and we're so excited to share this journey with you.
What's up, fam? Taste of Grace podcast, we're on a journey. Welcome to the very first Taste of Grace podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is our very first episode. You don't know how long we have been waiting for this and dreaming this up. I think we teased it. How long ago?
Months. Many months. A long time ago.
It was like in faith because we were like, we're going to just go ahead and tease it to put a fire under our butts and make sure that we
make it happen.
Make it happen. Yeah. Correct. If not, it would have been 2026. And we're like, so when are we shooting that episode?
Yeah. But we're here. Number one.
Yes.
Number one episode.
We did it. So proud.
So exciting. A dream come true.
Oh, Taste of Grace. Taste of Grace podcast. I think our hopes for all of this is, one, we've realized that we're on a journey. I think all of us have realized that, but specifically in this era of our life, we've seen that we're on this journey of healing, of growing, of accountability and self-awareness. And just like, I think we have our own things that we love to do. A lot of you know me from doing music. I've been in the music industry for years. Dorka has been doing makeup and is a professional celebrity makeup artist, has been doing it for years. But we've come to terms that we're more than our jobs and what we do. We have a voice, a God-given gift that he has given us, and this kind of like feeling of wanting to share that and speak on it and grow. So this is a place where we're going to continue our healing, but also
bring you in.
Hold hands with you, and we're going to like do this together. Like that's what it's about. Community, growth. And as two Latinas, like we want to share who we are and connect with you guys and just bring some kind of perspective. If we can be just a little part on your journey of growth, then we feel like fulfilled. I feel like I've known Dorka my whole life, but the reality is we met in 2020. Yep. So it's only been like 4 years, but it's been
But it feels like a lifetime. Yes, 4 years in dog years is like 50.
Exactly. That's what it feels like.
No, it's so true.
Connected immediately. I met her on set and of a music video, but it's just like
we clicked.
There's people that you meet.
Instant.
Exactly. There's people that you meet that like it can take a while to feel comfortable, but with her it was like I was dying to know if we were friends. Like I just wanted to be like, can you be my friend now? Can we like break the code of client?
Professional and client. That's so funny.
Man. But
for me, I feel like we clicked right away because of your sense of humor. I feel like I would throw in some things and you would like get my joke or where I was going with it, and then you started doing the same. And then like throughout the music video, we would make eye contact, and I feel like we spoke. Like you were on set and I had just met you and you were like talking to me with your eyes. You were like making a face and then I'd be like,
it was like the Twilight.
No, or
what
like
is it called when the wolves like bond?
Imprint.
We imprinted on set.
We really did.
We really did.
It was kind of immediate and we were like, well, and then I went to your birthday party.
Yes. Within 2 weeks, I was like, so you're coming to my birthday party, right? And she was like, it was a whole thing. Now we've talked about it, but we're glad to be here.
Yes.
It's been so much growth in our friendship over the last 4 years. But I would say most conversations that we have had have started joking. Like she's so sarcastic, and for those of you that don't know Dorka, she's probably one of the funniest people I know, but is so under the radar. Yeah, like you see her, she's quiet and like being like cutesy, but let me tell you, she's sassy and she is funny. She cracks me up. And so we have like these
such a good time,
fun times, but then we switch it and it's
and then we're crying. And then we're crying. We could be crying over laughter, like laughing, crying, and then immediately like sadness cries.
Yes, we go in deep.
Yeah.
And so
real quick, it's a switch.
And it's usually over food.
Yeah.
We love to eat
Yeah.
constantly. Like, we plan our meets around food. And here's a fun
Dinner,
fact.
lunch.
I just
coffee.
thought of something.
What?
When I first met Dorca, I considered a good night out going to
No.
like
You're gonna bring it up.
Longhorns. I was
Outbacks?
like, so where do you want to meet? You want to do Outbacks? Like,
Not with the S. It's Outback.
Vamos pa Outbacks, or what were we gonna do? Because like, that's what I knew. And so she made it her lifelong. Like,
I said, oh no, we have our work cut out for us. Like,
she
I
made
need
it
to
a
show you
goal.
around your own town that you were born and raised. Well, not born, but you were
Raised
You've been
in.
here for a while.
Yes.
And you had only gone to Longhorns. It's
She
not
made
fine. I was
me
like,
bougie, y'all. She made me bougie with my food, is what I'm trying to tell you. She was like, oh, I'm going to take you. Every time we meet, we're going to go to a new spot you've never gone to. We're from Orlando, so all of my Orlando wins. What do you call us? Orlandoinians.
Oh.
That sounds intense. Well, all of my Orlando people, we went to Prado. We went to Ava. We went to, where else? Where's been some of
Domu.
Domu. Loved it. We've tried it all. So I think
all the sushi spots. I'm still working on getting her to love sushi, but
I went from
it's a work in progress.
Chicken tempura. I've upgraded to spicy tuna. That's a big deal.
Yeah, but also specific types of spice. They have to like be very particular for you to even eat those. But
anyways, yeah, what we're trying to get at is that food is going to be a huge part of this time because number one, it's been a key part of our relationship since the start. And number two, like I mentioned, we're Spanish.
It's in our blood.
I can't think of a moment. Let me tell you, if you invite my family over and tell us like, let's chill, come to the house, and there's no food, like they feel offended.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you can't bring us in no cafecito. There's not even bread. Like, so any conversation, any time of fellowship or community that you're going to have with a Spanish person, have food there.
Yes. Food, snacks.
Anything. Like, don't leave us
cafecito,
on a... We could have just came from dinner. We still want dessert. So we wanted to make this place feel like home here today. It's our first podcast. We need to feel comfortable, and our comfort is food.
So
let's do this.
Yeah.
Carlos, bring it in.
Look what we have.
Okay.
Wow, they're so
beautiful.
Stunning.
They are.
Wow.
Bien exagerado. Look at this.
I'm too small.
We have Orlando's best in the house right now.
Correct.
What are these?
Acai bowls.
From?
Tropical acai bowls from Purple Ocean. Our friends from Purple Ocean hooked us up.
Look at this. Beautiful.
Stunning. A piece of art. Oh, and also brought us coffee.
Because they know.
A necessity.
Listen, he didn't even know our taste buds. Josiah from Purple Ocean, shout out to you. But he seemed to nail it on the head because I love all things coconut. Mine is coconut coffee.
And mine is lavender.
Blech.
And like very coffee tasting. Which I love.
Oh my gosh. But
oh my gosh.
If you're in the Orlando area, this is a key staple to our town. Purple Ocean brings the Caribbean Latin flavor to vegan food and these amazing acai bowls that are covered in coconut, which I love. But also, for all of you who live in Orlando, they are opening a new location in Lake Nona. I am so excited about that.
So exciting. That spot is like so good.
Lake Nona is bomb, but it's just going to become even more of a hot spot with
better.
Purple Ocean there. So thank you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Boop. Okay, let's taste this. I don't even have to go around.
Ugh.
My arms are too small.
The
Wait, mine has mangoes. Yours has mangoes?
No.
Oh, yours is banana and blueberries.
And strawberries.
and strawberries. And mine is mango.
The magic is at the bottom, guys. When you get to the bottom of this acai bowl, it's a crunchy. It's a crunchy, a crunchy granola coconut bottom. But
I'll have to get in there.
Food, for some reason, is so important in my life. I like immediately, when I think about food as like growing up, I think about my mom. And my mom was an amazing cook. And food was like her love language. I think that's why I feel so connected to it. But it was like her way to show that she cared for you or loved you. If you were a guest at our house, if there was a special thing going on with me and my brother, she wanted to make us our favorite meals. And it's just like, I don't know if it's a Latino thing. I feel like it's so ingrained into our culture and how we grow up. So I thought it would be key to incorporate into this podcast. I don't know, like, is it the same for you? Or?
Oh yeah. I feel like if you were one of me, like my friends or my brother's friends, and you came over, you were expecting an amazing meal, an amazing like breakfast sandwich, rice and beans. Like till this day, I have friends that I'm not even close to anymore, and they ask, "Is your mom still making those sandwiches?" Like the breakfast sandwiches. It's like ingrained in everyone's brain that like they would come to my house and they would feel so comforted. And so like at home, because my mom would like cook for them and make sure that they had like a home cooked meal and it was made with love and you can like
so
feel
true.
it.
I have friends.
It was so, it was just so like, it's such a huge part of our upbringing and just watching my mom cook. And she was amazing, like your mom, like in the kitchen. And
as I thought about what we should talk about for the first time on this episode, I immediately thought of one of the key things, like vulnerable things that bonded us outside of our humor, outside of food. I think the first time we dove into like deep conversation, it was over anxiety. I had just started the process of like walking through a divorce and was in the midst of understanding the deep hold anxiety had on me. And then I meet you, and you've been on this journey of confronting it head on.
Yeah. So when we met, it's funny because the beginning of that year, or the previous year, I had started realizing that anxiety also had a huge struggle on my life. It was actually very debilitating. And it was like easy to mask when I was working and like busy, keeping myself like occupied. But deep down, or like my alone times, I was really, really struggling with anxiety, people pleasing, like overthinking, which, you know, they all kind of go hand in hand. But so actually, that's when I started going to therapy, and I was like, I really need help. Like somebody help me figure out how to process and so I can live my life. Like it was that detrimental. I felt like I was at a wit's end of like, if I don't do something right now, it's really going to get bad. And so thankfully I found an amazing therapist that started helping with my journey on anxiety. And when I met you, I was already kind of like, I feel like I was in a good place already, kind of like transitioning, like being able to control more of my anxiety, overcoming it, having like really practical ways for me to.
I have a question. Like when you say debilitating, like what are signs of anxiety? Because I feel like it can be different for everybody. Like what would be debilitating?
Okay, so for me, debilitating was like, I can't sleep at night. So, you know, you're overthinking, you have so much anxiety, you get like heart palpitations. When I started struggling with anxiety, it looked a little bit different than it did a little bit more into my adulthood, because I didn't know what anxiety was when I first started experiencing it. So I thought I was having a heart attack. I was like, I can't breathe. don't Google your symptoms because you're not going to like what you find out. And so I actually ended up in the hospital. This is a really crazy story.
What?
Yes.
How do I not know this?
Yeah. So I was actually 17. And I remember I was 17 because I had just started dating my husband, Steven. And I was like, this is so embarrassing. I was like, this has never happened to me. I was dealing
Was it
with
on
so
a
much
date?
It wasn't on a date. We were hanging out at my house, but my parents were going through a divorce at the time, and so I was like trying to go to school and do all these things, and I didn't realize like the toll that it was taking on me. I was trying to play cool, live my life. I'm dating someone new, like I'm trying to just teen things. I mean, I'm only 17, and at the time I don't think I had met anyone that had said the word anxiety or
Yeah.
had like identified something like that kind of stress as anxiety. So my heart, I could feel my heartbeats like in my ears. They were pounding and I like couldn't breathe. And I had a lot of short breaths. And like little by little, I was like, I'm going to pass out because I just, anxiety can cause you to kind of like tense up and like not breathe. And so, which causes your heart to really like start palpitating.
Yeah.
And so I thought there was something else wrong with me. I go to the hospital. This happened 3 more times.
Like all hospital
in that
visits?
year. Yes. In that year, probably in a span of like 6 months, and nobody can tell me what it was. And then they were like, oh, you're like under high levels of stress and distress and, all these things. And that's when I started realizing like what anxiety, I guess, was, which again, this was maybe 2011. So anxiety still wasn't like a word that was thrown around a lot or people really talked about. My family had no idea. Like, I don't know if it's like a Latino thing, but mine definitely, like, my parents are straight from Puerto Rico. Like, I feel like mental health isn't really talked about, or like anxiety and things like that. You don't know how to identify it, and then you certainly don't really talk about it. And so that was new to me. But as I got older with my type of job, it's high stress. It's very much like very busy, early call times, long days, little sleep, a lot of people pleasing. My job, I love my job. I'm obsessed with what I do, but also it requires me to like make my client happy, and and that's what I want, and that's how I feel like I did a good job. And so there's a lot of high levels of like weight on your shoulders to like get that validation continuously, and like continuously start people pleasing. And people pleasing turns into anxiety because it's like everything you do is to make sure that you get like levels of affirmation,
Yeah.
or you're trying to meet people's standards, and you're not wanting to fall short. And so it was debilitating because it was taking up so much of my mind space and my thoughts. And when it
Totally
starts
get that,
like
yeah.
affecting your relationships, your work life and stuff like that, I feel like it gets hard to manage. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I can totally relate to that. I think I think back on my childhood because I'm similar to you in the sense that I've felt anxiety as a child, and it took me kind of in this state that I'm in now to realize that that's what it was, because I didn't understand the feeling. And in our family, talking about anything that can cause discomfort was something that we didn't do. And my mom, who was the rock of our family, worked so hard to like take care of us that I think I had ingrained in my mind that I can't add any extra stress. Like, we'll get into a lot of topics from abuse. I went through sexual abuse and a lot of things in my family, but I think I had just from a young age understood that I can't add stress in anyone's life. And so the people pleaser was like on high duty. But the first time all that to say, so I felt these emotions, but I was like, there's no way I'm ever gonna share it. I need to make my mom happy. I need to make my mom happy. And when I make her happy, it's like I'm helping her.
Yeah.
But my dad, who wasn't a part of our childhood, came back into my life when I was like a young teenage girl. And so in building a relationship with him and my mom wanting us to have some sort of relationship with my dad, she would send us to Puerto Rico for like holidays or summers or breaks, like it just little by little progressively grew. And I was probably 14 or so at the time. But I remember going for the first time to Puerto Rico for some reason without my brother. So we usually went together. And this time I had gone to Puerto Rico by myself and stayed with my dad. And the level of anxiety,
I'm sure,
that I felt, and it was
it's like a foreign place.
Yeah.
And you're young and
I'm young and I'm
by
like
yourself for the first time.
I just knew the feeling I had in my heart was like, I just want to go home. Like nothing felt safe. And so it was so traumatizing because I remember just bawling. Like I felt trapped and I was there, but then expressing to your dad, who has not been a part of your life, and all he desires is to restore some type of relationship and spend time. And I'm like, I just need to go home. I just want to go home. And he started crying because he's like, why don't you want to be with me? Like, do I, you know, like, do you not want to be here? As a 14-year-old, I'm like, I'm trying to figure out
manage
my
your
anxiety,
emotions,
manage my emotions. And also like my people pleaser just wants to make everyone happy. So that, like, I remember that feeling so clearly because I think it just marked me. But I feel like that's like a key moment that I can say anxiety's
one of
been
your
there
first
since.
moments.
Yeah. One of my first moments where I saw anxiety like peek its head in a big way.
Yeah. And I actually remember when the first time we talked about anxiety, which is so funny, but I think it was kind of like a core memory for me because that's the first time I really felt connected in a different way. Like I always felt connected to you in like our humor and like playfulness and you know, I love for fashion and beauty and all the things, but that's we were actually here in downtown and I remember we were walking back from a concert.
We went to see Lauren Daigle.
Yeah, we did. It was like one of our first times hanging out alone. So we were like, oh, let's go do this and then let's go eat. And you started talking. Actually, I can't remember who brought it up, but I remember looking into your eyes and I was like, oh my gosh, we both deal with anxiety. Like I don't actually know many people that I talk to or connect with that understand like the struggle behind the people pleaser and the anxiety. And thankfully I was going to therapy and getting like some practical ways to help ease, like breathing techniques, like, you know, working my way like out of what my mind is used to doing. And I was so excited that you were like acknowledging that you were struggling with that and that you were taking steps to like, because you wanted to also
I was not at that level. I was like, I'm having awareness. I'm talking to, I had a friend give me like a counselor's information. Donna, shout out if you watch this. She was a lifesaver in that time, but it was just the beginning for me. And I remember looking at you and being like, she carries such peace. Like I would have never thought that you were like someone that struggled with anxiety because I agree with your statement. Like a lot of the times I feel misunderstood. For people, it's becoming more common, I would say, but for people that don't struggle with fear and anxiety, like it's like it can, I don't know. I feel like at times it can be a little bit annoying or like they can't understand the process of like how my mind works in those scenarios
and how you like unravel under the
influence
of like anxiety and dealing with that. And you're like, I am so sorry. That was like that felt uncontrollable. Like I didn't mean for my mind to get there, but it got there so quickly. And so it is so hard to explain to someone like the thought process or like how you get from point A, you're totally normal, to then like feeling like you're gonna have an anxiety attack. But yeah, so it was kind of funny that I was like, what, like already a little bit into the process of like overcoming, and then you were starting your process. So it was like a perfect mesh because I always tell you like you met me in a different time. If you would have met me a year before, maybe you thought I was crazy. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you thought I would have been like so chaotic or something. But truly it was like God's work and God's hand in my healing process.
Well, I think he joined us together for a
The right
reason,
time.
right?
I know.
It was the right
Yes,
time because it was
yes.
what I needed. I was desperately thirsty for community, which is something that I've prioritized in this season of my life. And I think one of the reasons why this podcast is even happening is because like I was on the search when you go through divorce and things like that. I was on the search of like, I need friends. I need people to help me walk through some of these emotions that I'm feeling. And so I think you came at just the right time. I will say I was in desperate need of like community just because I was going through divorce. And to being completely transparent, going through a divorce as like a Christian artist or like in a church kind of setting.
Yeah, that must have been crazy.
It's just like you feel like I don't know. It's like it was the first time where I felt like shame around things that were let me correct that. I had felt that before. But it's very few times that I have felt kind of shame around things that were out of my control. And so like, yeah, so I'm like, I was already feeling like the taboo of having to go through that process. And then on top of that, it's like the anxiety that was coming from me going through a divorce, like you would get mixed feedback. Like there could have been moments within family or people that had good intention, but to be like, you know, almost like if that emotion was not of God and more shame kind of packed on top of everything that I was already trying to like uncover and work through. And so I'm curious, like, I didn't grow up in church. There's a lot of things. Sometimes even now as an adult, there's moments where I'm like, there's so much that I'm still learning where I meet people that are like, man, my whole life was in church. So there's an understanding there that I don't necessarily relate to, but to know the level of anxiety that, or the level of like taboo that I felt from talking about certain things within even like a church setting or like, I'm curious because you did grow up, your dad was a pastor and tú estaba bien rajatabla, like she grew up Pentecostal full.
Yes. Well, first of all, I commend you for being able to go through that process in, you know, in the world that we live in the church world also, and also, you know, being a singer and all the things. It's not easy as a whole, like in general, to go through that, and then to do it in that way and have to deal with so many different elements is
a lot.
Crazy. It's a lot. No wonder. Like it's completely understandable how much that would add to the already existing anxiety and people pleasing and not feeling like you can meet anyone's like, you know, expectations, or, you know, going through that time when you yourself had to like grieve and mourn and figure out all of those emotions and be a mom.
But I feel like I want to commend the role you played in that, because to be quite honest,
are you gonna cry?
I feel emotional because
I'm like, see your eyes tearing up. Like,
I'm hearing you and it's taking me back. Like, and I don't think I've ever shared this with you, but like, I feel like our friendship and like who you were at that time was part of my healing, because I'm like, this is ridiculous.
It took us a whole 15 minutes to start crying.
I'm dead serious, because I'm like, I felt so much shame, and it felt so hard to start friendships like in that state that I was in, because I'm like, how do I have to like tell everyone this whole story, and I have a kid, and yeah, I'm a Christian singer and I went through divorce, like, but you were so like accepting and open to like where I was, that it made me feel like it was possible to start over and like build these relationships. So that means a lot that you commended me, but I wanted to let you know that you played a huge part in that as well.
Okay. Wow. I was not expecting that. Neither one. You never told me that before. Was I expecting the tears at some point? Yes. Right now, no. Oh my gosh. Well, wow. I mean, I don't even know what to say, but God's timing is perfect. And I think it was vice versa. I was also going through a growing healing process, and you didn't even know it. And now I'm going to start crying. And you were such a, it's crazy because you were scared to share that part of your life, and I thought it was refreshing. I was like, wow, like she's so amazing and she's going through so much, and you're such a light through it all. Like you felt like a beam of light, you know, like the way you carry yourself, your personality, your humor. It was like so refreshing to my soul to be like, wow. I don't remember the last time I had connected with someone so quickly and so deeply. So God knew what he was doing.
He sure did.
And here we are 4 years later. So
I know. I'm sorry for taking us completely off railing.
It needed to happen at some point.
You were talking about your upbringing though, and I completely was like,
and by the
let me take this moment.
It had to happen. Well, okay, yeah. So I think growing up in the church world, so I don't know if, so in Puerto Rico, there's a lot of Pentecostal churches. There's a lot of like different, I forgot the word in English, but like
say it in Spanish.
Well, now I forgot in Spanish because you put me on the spot. Bueno pues. But okay, so like Pentecostal, Samaria, like there's like a lot of different types of churches, and I grew up in a church where it was very much like there was a lot of rules. So I couldn't wear pants. I couldn't have any jewelry on until I got married and would have a ring. Like you couldn't wear makeup, you couldn't cut your hair. Like my hair was like this long.
You wore a veil.
I wore a veil to church, you guys. Like it was no joke. But I think deep that like rooted in me a sense of like earning my salvation and earning love and earning people's acceptance and approval, because there was so many rules, and if you were doing everything right, you were good, and if you weren't, then you were in trouble. And so I think I took that into adulthood, and it really did kind of like shape a lot of the ways that I saw a lot of things. So I think
it's so interesting like hearing you process all of it, because I feel like something I admire about you is, I've always felt it, is that you kind of like have this sabiduría, like you have this wisdom that
Spanish.
I know I'm learning here, like
being impresionada.
I just love that about you, because I feel like there's things that you caught on quicker than most, aka me. And so like it took my adult life, I think my moment of like confronting my anxiety head on was when I lost my mom. And it was like such a realization that I was basing everything that I did on my works, on like what I was like capable of doing. Yeah. Like, and I honestly feel like a lot of our anxiety is it stems from this desire to not disappoint, this desire to be perfect, this desire to think that
not let anyone down.
We have to earn love and worth and all these things. And so I'm like hearing you, and I'm in awe, because I'm like, I feel like you got it earlier. I don't know what it took for you, but I would love to hear like, how was that for you? Was it someone kind of coaching you through that, or did you come up with this? Did you have a moment on your own that you were like on that journey?
Yeah, I believe that, I think little by little I started seeing the signs of where I was like, that's just the way that I'm thinking is not necessarily right. Like if we believe in the God that like I think we believe in, and that I love and loves me, and he gave us this free gift, then why is why do I have to earn it continuously? It was exhausting, you know? And I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like that one moment you wouldn't, like God wouldn't love you. The other moment you were then back in his good graces. And then the other moment you messed up and now you're feeling so shameful and you're like, I can't even go to church. I can't even pray because I feel so guilty or something. And so I just felt like, I feel like sometimes God just really gives me revelations in a way, like it's not like written out. It's just something that I start to think about little by little until I get the point and I'm like, whoa, like that's the earthly example that we believe where we have to earn things. Because I mean, that's what you do at a job sometimes to like earn your next
100%.
promotion and this and that. You know, you work your way up. But God does not work like that. And God gives it to you for free. And you come with you know, you lay it at his feet. All your anxieties, all your worries, you don't have to carry that weight on your shoulders. And when I started to realize like, wow, he knows me better than I know me. There's nothing new under the sun for God. Like he knows our flaws and that we're not perfect. And that's why Jesus died for us. Therefore, like I don't have to earn it. He wanted to pay this price so we can have that relationship. And suddenly yeah, I just felt it. The freedom of being like, I don't have to live that way anymore. Like I want to honor God and I want to please God and I want to grow closer to him. And it just at some point it just stopped coming to my head. Like I stopped thinking about whether or not I was, you know, I had to earn it. So
there's I remember a speaker, my friend had sent me like a preaching of like a speaker when I was going through everything with my mom, and he in his sermon he was saying he loves you because he loves you because he loves you because he loves you because that is who he is, that is his nature. And I would remember like replaying that in my head and being like, he loves me because he loves me because that is who he is.
Yes.
And
it reminds me of like Constance, our therapist. When I was going through shout out to you, I love you. We have the same therapist. And when I started going to her specifically for anxiety, she has this saying that we both love. Well, you can word it probably better.
I would end every session going, I'm safe, I'm loved, and I'm worthy because I'm his. And that, like, it sounds so simple, but like speaking that over your heart and your little girl and being like, you're safe, you're loved, you're worthy because you're his.
And in my sessions, I end it with like, I think it was, he loves you not because of what you do, but because of who you are, or maybe because you're his.
Yeah.
I think it was like the same ending, but mine was like, you don't have to earn it. So yeah.
She
so true.
Was
She's
huge.
Amazing. Yeah.
Man, we can talk about this topic all day because trust, I had a list of things. I'm like, people are out there.
We didn't even touch on half of
I know
what we could have talked about
to talk
and share.
Coping and like, I know some of people out there are using
other methods,
medicinal things out here in the, you know, like, not even judging. I'm just like, there's just so many
real conversation. It's a real thing. Yeah.
I wanted to dive in. There was so much we could have talked about. More. But this is our episode 1 and we're just getting started. So know that more is coming.
Yes.
And the more comfortable we get, it's going to get crazy because we going to go there. We going to go there, right?
That's right.
I think let's end this. If you have like a scripture or something that we can end this on.
Yep. Actually, since we're on the topic of anxiety, this is one of my favorite verses that helps me. I love to read and recite in my mind if I like feel like I'm starting to get a little bit of anxiety or I'm kind of like struggling with that. And just as a reminder in general, but it's 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. That's one. And then Philippians 4:6-7, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and mind through Jesus Christ. I love that one so much.
Amen.
So good. So
Amen.
good. Just keep, reciting that.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Like and
like,
also
subscribe. I became a YouTuber very quickly. Yes. I think it's it can sound like cliches. It can sound like you're reciting things that we've heard over, the course of time. But in reality, the word of God is really what's going to be our biggest support in times of distress. So I love that. I love those scriptures. And this is our first episode, but there is more to come. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you comment. We want to hear from you. We
want to know what you want to see or hear us talk about.
Yes, ask us questions. Yes. We have an Instagram at Taste of Grace Podcast, and you can DM us. Let us know what episodes you want to, what you want us to talk about and what do you want to hear. So this is just the beginning. Just remember, no matter where you find yourself on your journey, you're worthy, you're loved, and you are more than enough. So continue to show yourself a little bit of grace. I would give you a knuckle, like, a pound, but this
Can you move your left hand?
Let's see. We did it. Episode 1 is down.